Yeah. What is up, everybody? It's your boy Soto here with the Autumn Windbags, back with another one. Hope everyone's enjoying their Good Friday. It's always a good Friday. It's a good every day. Everybody should have a good day every day because that means if you get a new day, you survived the last one and you got a whole day left, at least one more. So, hello, everybody. I want to do something a little different today. Before we go any further, like we always do, I want to make sure everyone like, comment, and subscribe. Uh, tell your friends, tell your haters, tell your mamas, tell everybody. Good buddy here, Ty Davis. He says, I've been listening to y'all podcast on Apple Music now for months. I didn't know you guys was on YouTube. Really enjoy y'all's show. So, Ty, if you've never watched us on YouTube before, then you haven't seen the live shows because I don't believe the live shows are on like Podbean or Apple Music or Spotify, stuff like that. I hop on live. I try to hop on live at least a couple times a week. I got some stuff in the hopper. I want to jump on a lot more often, drop videos a lot more often for you guys. So, without further ado, here's what we're going to do today. Today, what we're going to do is a little bit different. Normally, what I do is I do a mock draft myself, and then I talk about how, incredibly smart I am and all this stuff. But I wanted to do this a little bit different. The thing I wanted look, there are a lot of different ways to skin a cat, right? A lot of different ways to get things done. I'm finding out that a lot of people that don't like some of the moves that this regime has made, they're just gonna shit on everything, right? And I understand, but if you can find the logic in the move, you can't. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but it would be irresponsible for you to just blindly crap over everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that's really kind of there's still a huge divide here. Okay. We know that the past quarterback is gone and stuff like that, but I think some of that residue still lingers. I think some people have still have a little bit of hurt feelings over that, and that may or may not. I'm not sure, but to me, it seems like a lot of people that are maybe overly negative and just looking to be negative about certain things are carrying that into all this specific move and that specific move and that specific move, bad, 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 and even the stuff that we do well, it's like, well, it's okay, it's. I understand where it's coming from. Is what I'm trying to say. What I would say is we haven't played any games yet this year. We haven't even drafted this year. Let's see how it plays out, right? I understand that everyone wants to win. I want to win right this neck. I want to win right this second. I want to win. Yeah, I do too. But we don't play any games we don't play any games this weekend, right? All we can do is we can assemble the best roster that we can, coach them up, and hope that they execute. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. What do I got going on here? Super Omnicron, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, like, comments. It does, guys. It does make a difference. The more likes, the more comments, the more interaction that we get, the more that we show up for people who have similar likes. So we want to get out there. We want to get in with the crowds and stuff like that. We want to do more content. The more that we grow, the more that we give, right? I hope you guys can know. Some of you guys who have been with us for a long time, right? You guys know that the more subscribers that we get and the more likes and stuff that we get, the more we're able to do better guests, the more we're able to do better equipment, better, more lives and different things like that we're able to do. We're still working on that studio for you guys, which is going to be sweet. But yeah, man, we're pouring our money back into this to make things better for you guys. Better guests, locations. We want to do on location stuff at bars and stuff like that. We need money to fly out to places because right now everything's out of our own pocket. No, it's not a boohoo, charity drive or anything like that. But just know that every little bit you can do helps. All right. All right, guys. What else we got over here? I love listening to you guys. I love talking to you guys, man. I love getting in here. Dope hat. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. This hat? I actually made this hat myself. If you can see, it's actually the Raiders logo, black on black. I did an extra large logo, and I had one of the ladies at work sew it on a hat for me. So I actually made this a one-of-a-kind hat. I made this hat myself. I get a lot of compliments on it because people just see the shield until they get up close and they see that it actually has the Raiders logo and everything. It's just black on black. But yeah, so yeah, I'm a bootlegger, I guess. I'm stealing money from the NFL. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? All right, we're going to talk about a draft strategy. We're going to talk about what we've done in free agency, and we're talking about what we should do in the draft. Also, we're going to take a look at a good friend of the show. He's been on the program. I don't know if you guys have seen him, Marcus Mosher. He's been on our show. He writes for Raider Wire, USA Today. So go check him out. He has a lot of good stuff. Follow him on Twitter, Marcus Mosher. He writes a lot of stuff for the Raiders and a lot of stuff for the Cowboys. But he's a really smart dude. He gets it. Him and I clicked real. We were very in tune on what we should do last offseason. And I really I felt that his mock draft was very interesting. He didn't do a lot of trades. I think right now we're seeing a lot of trades happening right now in mock drafts, and it just muddies the water. Now, what I want to guard against here, okay? What I want to guard against is I want to guard against us looking at specific players. I want to look more at strategy. What types of players are we getting? Are we overdrafting players? Are we reaching in positions? Are we taking players that don't fit what we're trying to do? You know me. I always say this. As far as drafting goes, give me production mixed with measurables and and someone who's smart, right? So if you were productive in college, that's where we start. I don't need a guy that was a bad player, but he's super. I don't need that. That's Darian Hayward Bay. God bless you. But no, we don't need that. Okay. That's like a lot of players that we've taken, honestly, in the first rounds. Measurables are only good if they translate to production, right? That's the deal. We're looking at players. What makes a player? RJ wants to throw it in my face. Oh, you always talk about getting the best players available. Well, players, Playaz, are all about production. Because like Dion said, if you play good, if you look good, you play good. And if you play good, they pay good. Okay? So here's what we got to do. We got to get ourselves some players. So what does that mean? That means they're productive in college and their measurables are good. I want athletic players who are productive so that their athletic ability translates to play on the field. There's a lot of players who aren't like that. Okay. I think was it Mafonu we took the safety we took a few years ago in like the third round or something like that. He was an off the charts athlete, but it just didn't translate to the field, right? So first is production. Are you productive? If you're productive, I will look at you. Now I want to see the most productive players that we have. All right, great. Now show me some measurables. I want to see something that's going to translate from the t-shirt and shorts to the pads and cleats. That makes sense, guys? All right, cool. So this is Marcus Mosher's mock draft. I put the link in the description if you want to follow along, but I got you right here. Don't trip. Before we start, I want to go here. Okay, my mock draft reaction. So needs after free agency. This might be a little small because we got a lot. We got a lot of needs after free agency here. Okay. Even though in the secondary we picked up Marcus Epps, we re-signed, we signed back Brandon Faison. We got Jaquan Johnson, David Long, Duke Shelley. We re-signed Roderick Teamer. We need playmakers in the secondary. We need playmakers in the secondary. Got it? That's what we need. That's a big issue that we have because look, There are going to be times, no matter how good our pass rush is, no matter how good Max Crosby is, he doesn't have a 100% win rate, right? So we need people in positions on every level of the defense to be able to make a play. Not just someone who can have a play happen and they make it if it's there. I'm talking about a playmaker. So what did we do? What did Marcus Moser do? Well, actually, no, we're not going to start that yet because we have other needs we're going to talk about. Secondary playmakers. That's what we need. That's the first. I feel that's the most important thing that we need is secondary playmakers. I think we've been like at the bottom of the list for years in interceptions, for years in pass breakups. We need to make sure that we get now. Some of the guys that we got are solid players. Marcus Epps, solid player. I think he's very underrated. I think he's a good tackler. He can play well in the system. Is he a super player? Maybe with an expanded role, he can grow into that. I think Brandon Faison is a solid player. I think he's solid. Is he a starter quality? If he's a starter on your defense, your secondary probably isn't great. You're maybe average to a little bit below average. Okay, not taking anything away from him. I think he's a good player, but if he's like one of your corner outside corners, I think we can do better than that. Okay, Jaquan Johnson, he's more of a depth guy, special teams. Same with David Long. Duke Shelley didn't play a lot. What he did play well, but he's a little on the smaller side. That's not taking anything away from his ability. Okay, Amik Roberts is a little bit smaller, and he showed up in certain games as well. Roderick Cheemer is just a full-on depth special teams guy. But you need those guys. They're very important. Okay. Also, we need interior pass rush. One thing that you can see in almost every team that made the playoffs is they can rush the passer up the middle. Now you ask quarterbacks, they don't mind the pressure along the edges because they've gotten used to stepping up in the pocket and keeping their eyes downfield. Before it's like, oh, let me bend the corner and everything, because the quarterbacks back in the day were just statues. Like you see like the whole, the blind side, right? Lawrence Taylor coming off the edge and just crushing Joe Theismann. Well, Joe Theismann really wasn't the most mobile guy, especially after his injury. God bless him. But we need that pressure up the middle. So we do need a pass rush up the middle. We did get some interior linemen. John Jenkins is more of a run stopper. Jerry Tillery showed some flashes. Maybe with an expanded role, he can show us a little bit more. Well, we have the rookies that we drafted last year. I think Farrell is going to be due for a big season, I think, next year. I think he's going to do a lot more. But we just need more. With offensive linemen, think of it like hockey hockey players. You just got to switch those suckers out every few plays. Keep them fresh. Switch them out. You notice, go look at the teams that made the playoffs last year. Look at their interior defensive line. That's something that's really big. It's a game wrecker defensively if you can get pressure up the middle, both stopping the run and also getting after the passer. Okay. All right. Moving along. O-line, we need youth and versatility. Now, here's the deal. I don't know if you guys know this, but whenever someone says we want to get young, we need youth at this position, you know what that means? Money. They want to get cheap. They want to stay cheap. Our offensive line is not expensive. And I think that's kind of how you can, I don't know if manipulate, but like steal some money. If you can keep your offensive line versatile and young, that means they're going to be inexpensive and you can cover a lot of spots with less guys, basically, right? So we always need offensive line help. It's a big part of the team. You have a terrible offensive line, it's hard to win games. We need speed at linebacker. We just need it. Robert Spillane, Curtis Bolton. Curtis Bolton's more of a special teams guy. Robert Spillane played well. Look at his stats for the games played. He didn't play a lot. He played a lot maybe after like week 13 or 14 when Butch got hurt, and he played a lot then and he did well. But, he's not that sideline to sideline type of, slice through blockers and make plays, right? Like a chase and run type of tackler type of guy. We need a guy that can move. We need a guy that can cover space in a hurry, and we need a guy that can get up and tackle and get in the face and break up some of those passes to the linebackers or the flats, like with the tight ends. We need guys that are fast enough to make that happen, especially on the goal line. You've seen it where we get either quarterbacks or running backs or end arounds where they get the corner on us and the linebacker's just not fast enough to get there. Divine Diablo's coming back from injury. He's not a speed burner. He used to be a safety, so he's a little bit better in coverage than Perriman was. But hopefully we get him back at full strength. Spillane's more of a road grader type of run stopper guy, a tackling machine. We need speed at linebacker. Speed. Masterson's okay. He showed some flashes, but we need speed at linebacker. That's what we need. Okay. Also, edge rushers. Right now, what we didn't really see much last year of Chandler Jones. I think at the end of the year before his injury, I think he started playing a lot better. He didn't get a sack until I think like what was it, week 12 or something like that. He ended the season with like 4.5. So in those maybe 6 games or 5 games or so, he was able to get 4.5 sacks in 5 games. Which okay, if we could do that for a whole season, that'd be fucking great, right? Malcolm Kuntz. I don't know what happened with Malcolm Kuntz. I don't know if maybe the regime isn't really high on him or not, or he's maybe not a special teams guy as a backup. I'm not sure what happened to Malcolm Kuntz. I had a lot of hope for him to develop in year 2. Hopefully, maybe year 3 is a breakout year for Malcolm Kuntz, but we do need edge rusher help. Okay, looking into the future. What I mean by that is this: we don't have an immediate need now, but it's always good to have depth and develop a guy going forward. The first one is we're going to look at is a quarterback to groom. I would love for us to get a quarterback in this draft that we're comfortable with, that's going to be able to groom and has a nice solid ceiling, that has some high-end traits that we can develop and give him a chance to kind of sit behind a couple of really strong, smart, experienced quarterbacks. Okay. In the NFL, you always need depth at running back, always, because it's a very oft hurt position. These players take a pounding. Their careers are not that long. Their elite level in careers are not that long. Look at what's his face from the Cowboys. I forgot his name already. But yeah, man, he can't get a job anywhere, man. So look, it's always smart to get some type of depth. I know we got a couple of guys back. We have Jacobs on the franchise tag. We brought back Amir Abdullah, but Amir Abdullah is getting a little bit older. Jakob Johnson is a freaking tank, but I don't know how long he's going to be. I mean, for what we ask him to do, I think he can play a few more years. But what's going to happen with Jacobs? Zamir White showed some flashes, but really didn't get a chance to do much last year. Is he the answer? Who knows? Also, we want to get youth at wide receiver. We signed some wide receivers back. We signed back Keelan Cole. We signed DeAndre Carter. DeAndre Carter, honestly, is going to be more of a return guy. Philip Dorsett's more of a special teams guy and a deep threat. Jacoby Myers is going to, it's a young kid who I think is going to do good things for us. I'm really high on him, not because he's an exceptional player. Oh my God, he's a top shelf guy. I think he's a solid dude who has a high floor. Maybe not a super high ceiling, but his floor is high. It's going to give you good production. Cam Sims is a huge freaking just special teams dude. That's all he is. So if we can get more youth and speed and production out of the wide receiver spot, it's always great that way. What does youth mean? Guys, what did I just say? Youth means money. If you pay less for those positions, guess what? You can pay more for others. Makes sense? Makes sense. I'm not paying a ton of money for DeAndre Carter or Philip Dorsett or even Cam Sims or Keelan Cole, really. But you're paying them more than you would pay a rookie on a rookie deal or a second or third year player on a rookie deal. You see what I'm saying? So as you start getting these maybe you might think, why are we drafting a wide receiver? We don't need wide receivers. Well, here's the deal, brother. Here's the deal, brother. If you draft a wide receiver and he ends up being okay, this guy's could be pretty good. He can take the place of one of these guys. Yeah, you don't have to spend $2 million on a DeAndre Carter or $2 million on a Keelan Cole. You pay this, fourth, fifth round receiver, six, 700 grand or whatever. And it's like, that's how you save money. You stay young at places. You don't need to have all these veterans in backup roles. These backup roles should be for young guys. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a lot of depth on our roster throughout our roster. So we're having to kind of pluck, and that's why I said before in the show, we're having to pluck these kind of low price veterans who are still costing more than players on rookie contracts would cost. So even if you don't think we need the guy, if he's a good player at a good value, it's always good to get these players because they're going to be able to allow you more flexibility and cap in the future. All right. Last but not least, tight end. We need guys that can block and can move chains. Look, a healthy Darren Waller, the way he was a few years ago, is a unicorn, man. You don't see guys like that often. But you can still get good production out of a tight end if you scheme it properly. And you can also give yourself a lot better chance at running game if your tight end blocks. We had the leading rusher in the NFL, but we had to use a freaking sixth tight end, a tackle eligible a lot because our tight end couldn't block. Okay. So if we get a young tight end to develop, I know we got Jesper Horsted, we signed OJ Howard, we signed Austin Hooper. Those guys all play kind of a mix of roles. I think Jesper Horsted is a good receiver and he's a decent blocker, not great. I think that OJ Howard is the better blocker out of the three, but maybe not as good a pass catcher. And I think Austin Hooper is the best receiver out of the three, and maybe not as good a blocker at times, though. So they each have their pluses and minuses. I think if we get a young kid, we can maybe, like again, what I said before, you get a young player, even if you have a lot of players at that position, you get a young guy, you pay him less. The older guys, even though we're not paying a ton for OJ Howard, maybe we move on from him. Don't know you personally. I'm not trying to throw shade or anything, but if we can get these backup roles on players on rookie contracts, it frees up more money for the rest of the roster. Make sense? Makes sense. Okay, without further ado, actually, you know what? Let's go see what we got here. William Merchant really likes Tanner McKee. I like Tanner McKee too, man. I think he's a big, strong kid. I think that he was given not a lot to work with at Stanford. I think that kind of that up and down players at Stanford, it's like with the NILs and stuff like that. A lot of the kids aren't going there anymore, so it's a sad thing. Not for me because I'm a USC fan, so whatever. Let's see. What do you say? He listed all defense with our needs. Well, not necessarily. There's O-line. There's O-lines in there, right? Okay, let's get things started. Let's pop this off, okay? Because we're gonna get moving here. In the first round, Marcus Moser on a Raiders Wire on USA Today. Go check it out. The link is in the description. He had in the first round, he had us taken Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon with the 7th pick. Got no problem with this. Got no problem with this whatsoever. Christian Gonzalez is a speed burner, 4.38 40. He plays fast. He plays aggressive. He's long. Some people are going to say, well, he only had one breakout season. Well, let me tell you something right now. Those Colorado teams that he was on were god awful. It's hard to shine when you're around a bunch of shit. Okay. You have one guy on the defense who's worth a shit, right? What do? Just don't throw to him, right? That's why his stats are bad. He didn't even get thrown. No one threw to him. Now that he was with a better team with Oregon this last year, he showed what he can do when you actually throw to him. I like this pick a lot. It fills a need. What did I say? Playmakers in the secondary. This fits that bill. Okay. And moving on to the next pick, Marcus Moser said this. Steve Avila out of TCU. He's played both guard spots, played center. I think he played a little bit of tackle as well. This dude, I wouldn't call him elite, but he's strong. He's strong at a lot of positions, which I like. I don't have a problem with this pick. I would like to see who else was available, let's say on the defensive line, right? or maybe at linebacker at this pick at 38. I don't know, man. I'm not saying it's a bad pick. I'm saying I would like to see what else was available in this mock draft. But honestly, you can't go wrong. Do we need interior offensive line help? Hell yeah, we do. I see Steve Avila slide right into one of those guard spots and being a bright spot. This dude, if you saw him play in the tournament, he played really well. He blocked well. He was an anchor. He was good on the move. This kid is a player. Okay, so again, you get younger at the backup spots, and what happens? You free up money elsewhere. Okay, again, you don't have to agree with the pick, but you see the logic behind the pick, right? Is it an area of need? Hell yeah. What did I say about O-line? Youth and versatility. He's young, which means you pay him less, right? That's what youth means in the NFL. Where's the versatility? You see him snapping here as center. He played both guard spots. He played some tackle. Youth and versatility. Youth and versatility. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is a little pie in the sky. Would I love for us to grab Hendon Hooker at 70? I would love to do that. I'm hearing a lot that Hendon Hooker may be the third or fourth quarterback gone. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying he isn't. I'm hearing a lot about Hendon Hooker being drafted in the late first round. Definitely the second round. I don't know what mock draft Marcus Mosher was doing where Hendon Hooker is available in the third at number 70. But if he's there, hallelujah, praise Jesus, I will take him. Okay? Again, William Merchant, I appreciate you, bro. I got you. Rather have McKee. It's different flavors for different people, right? But again, what are we looking at? We're looking at the logic here. The exact person may not be the one that you want. Maybe in this draft, McKee wasn't available on 70. Who knows? But you were looking to get younger and getting a quarterback that we can develop that has a high floor. If Hendon Hooker didn't get hurt, he may have won the Heisman. He was doing that good. Now, he was schemed open a lot. His receiving threats, Tillman, where he was schemed open a lot. So, it's hard to kind of gauge, but I think he showed enough. I think he played at West Virginia and also in Tennessee, where he's going to be a high floor player. All right. Next, with that pick 100, this is where I kind of got a little bit, questionable. But again, I have to follow the logic. Before we move any further, Ty Davis, I was waiting for someone to say it. Another hooker in Las Vegas, his jersey alone, I make it a point not to buy current players' jerseys. Nope, I don't do it. I have like 6 jerseys. They're all retired players. Got a Tom Flores, got a Matuzak, I got a Bo Jackson, I have a Howie Long. What else I have? I got a couple other ones too. But I don't buy current players because you never know what's going to happen, right? Look, if Aaron freaking Rodgers is getting traded, Lamar Jackson could be on another team. You never know what's going to happen. So, all right, I get what you're saying. But again, follow the logic here. Michael Wilson is a big receiver. He does have some slight injury concerns, but here's the deal. Without those injury concerns, there is no way in hell he's available at 100. He's a good player. He could take on that, right this second, he can take on that third or fourth wide receiver role, play some special teams. I think it's kind of a reach, honestly, but I'm trying to see the logic in it. He's a really good player at a position that we can get younger at. If we can get younger at this position of wide receiver, it frees up more cap space in the future. I understand it's a good value pick. Maybe I wouldn't have gone there, but I understand the logic. Okay. Feng Vu, I get you, man. I agree. I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, we only drafted one defensive player so far. Now, it was a pretty damn good defensive player in the first round, but man, you go offensive line, quarterback, wide receiver. It's like, what the hell? I get what you're saying, man, and I agree. But let's see how this plays out. Okay, next pick. Round 5, Dorian Williams out of Tulane. Let me tell you something right now. This pick is bittersweet for me because you see how he's raising that Cotton Bowl trophy? He beat my USC Trojans in that game, and God damn it if he didn't ball out in that game. Dorian Williams showed that he can shed blocks, that he can dip underneath blocks, that he can slice through blocks, that he can tackle for loss, that he can put pressure on the quarterback. You're talking about speed at linebacker. This is speed, okay? This is speed at linebacker. Again, one of the needs that we had, we need speed at linebacker. We need speed at linebacker. For those of you guys that are talking about no defensive tackle, we drafted 2 defensive tackles last year. Remember that. We drafted 2 defensive tackles last year, and they really like Neil Farrell. They really like him. We do need this speed at linebacker. Fang, I'm telling you, we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. At least we can see eye to eye on the fact that Dorian Williams, this speed will make a huge difference for us at linebacker. Okay? All right. Next pick. Here is your defensive tackle, Moro Ojomo. Moro Ojomo is a little undersized, but this dude can rush the passer from the defensive tackle spot. So if you didn't see him play at Texas, he's a little bit undersized, right? But he has a way of sliding through blocks and getting through blocks, and just he's not small. He's just a little shorter. He's about maybe 275, 280. He's not a big 300-pounder, but he's strong, he's active, and this dude can tackle. He can chase down quarterbacks and running backs from behind. This is the defensive tackle we're looking for. Let's see. He skipped pick 100. Was with this mock before? No, there was a 2 third-round picks, wasn't there? No, this just came out. Okay. Rumors that Raiders will trade to number 3 and swap D-Hop with Renfro. Oof. I mean, D-Hop's a little bit older, is a lot more expensive. Maybe about $5 million more expensive than Renfro. Hell, if they want to do it, I'll take it. Hell. Ty Davis, I saw him. He could definitely get after quarterback. Yeah. What did I say we needed? We needed pass rush from the interior. Moro Ojomo can definitely do that. Okay? That's what we're looking for. So now you see the strategy, right? What are we looking for? We're looking for production. We're looking for measurables. These guys are productive. All these guys that I've shown you right now are productive, and they have high measurables. That is a draft strategy moving forward. I understand what you're saying. Maybe the wide receiver pick wasn't great, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, here we go. Next pick. Tight end Will Mallory from Miami. We said we needed to get younger. We need to get a good – this dude is big. Okay? So what we're looking at is – how do we get younger at positions? Maybe not a huge position, but if it's a value pick. Will Mallory available in the 5th round is about right. He's a highly productive player. He has great hands, a good catch radius, a lot more athletic than people think, and he's a really good blocker. Okay? Let's see. Guys, I'm only going to pick on this because I think we need to adjust our thinking here a little bit. Should have gotten that defensive tackle in the 1st or 2nd round. I understand what you're saying. They are very explosive defensive tackles in the 1st and 2nd round. But what are you losing by not picking the players that you did pick in the 1st and 2nd round? You're not going to find a player like Gonzalez in the 2nd, 3rd round at cornerback. Okay, by the time you pick at 38 again or at 70, it's not going to happen. Avila's a freaking beast, bro. I think you guys may be undervaluing his ability, but I get what you guys are saying. Omar with the $5 super chat. Thanks, Omar. What does Omar have to say? Soto, I hope we don't trade up. Wide receiver need our draft picks. The only player worth trading up for is CJ Stroud, who I think will be gone. Richardson can go 1. Look, man, I've seen a lot of scenarios out there. Here's the thing, brother. GMs a lot of times play scared, okay? They don't like to swing a lot for the fences because they don't want to be the one to do it and it not work out. They would rather have a guy who is a little bit more ready-made and has the high um, variables, right? And the strong variables. But I don't know, man. The Richardson pick is definitely a wild card, man. He can go anywhere from the second, third, fourth pick around there. He can go that to like the teens. You just don't know. You don't know how these guys are evaluating him, because we can hear all the prognosticators we want, but ultimately it's about what the GMs think. Okay. Omar, thanks again for that $5 super chat. Okay, moving along. I think we're still in the sixth round here. Rajon Wright. I've seen Rajon Wright play. Rajon Wright is a fast, lengthy DB. He can close space quickly. He has some issues changing direction, but it's mostly footwork and technique. We can work with that. In the sixth round, getting a player with these measurables is a good move, because it's an area position. They have measurables that can translate to playmakers. He was a playmaker in college at Oregon State. And those, if you clean up some of those, look, if you put Gonzalez's feet on Rajon Wright, he's a day one, early day two pick. But he has some issues with his technique. But that's when you clean it up. That's what you get in the sixth round, man. You get positions of need, and you get guys that can play special teams, but also you can coach up. In a couple years, he can be one of your better players. Okay? All right, next. Nick Saldiveri. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch a lot of Old Dominion football, okay? But what I do know about Nick Saldiveri is he's a tough, hard-nosed kid. He's a savage blocker, and he's versatile. He can play a lot of positions. That's something that you're looking for in a backup. Are you looking to find a starter in the sixth round? It'd be great if you could, but mostly these guys are going to be depth guys, special teams guys. I don't have a problem with this pick. Again, you're looking to get younger, right? Who'd you sign? Alex Bars, Illuminor, Parker, Grasu, Moody. Like you're signing these guys, even though you're signing them for low veteran deals, they're still costing more than these six rounders are going to cost, right? So what if the sixth rounder plays just as good as one of these old veterans? Guess who you're going to pick? You're going to pick the young guy who you have under control for like 3 years at a low price, instead of bringing back these retreads year in and year out and paying them more money. So it's a smart move to get another. If this is the best offensive lineman available at the time, I don't have a problem taking another lineman here. All righty. Round 7. If Kayvon Merriweather is available at round 7, I don't know what. I don't know if you guys have watched a lot of Big Ten football. Kayvon Merriweather is a thumper. Think of like a Jonathan Abram, but better against the pass. Okay? He is a heat-seeking missile. He is athletic. He can get out there. Look at his arms. He's real rangy. He's an athletic kid. Again, what are you looking for? What did I say in the beginning? You got to be productive. If you're productive, let me look at your measurables. Okay? Because you can be productive and you're maybe not as fast, you don't jump as high, you're not as quick, whatever, you change your direction because you're playing against college players. But if you're productive and you have good measurables, that translates well into the next level against other elite athletes, right? So great job here. I think if he's available in the 7th round, wow. Here we go. Next pick. This has been one of my sleeper picks for a long time. I haven't put him in my draft. I had other guys late, like a Yaya from Darby from Louisville. Like he's another guy that we can get late, possibly, right? Nick Hampton for Appalachian State. Okay. Appalachian State. Wow. Who the hell is Appalachian State? Who's Appalachian State playing right now? That's Texas A&M. That's an SEC school. Appalachian State plays big-time competition. Nick Hampton is productive. Okay, he's a little bit smaller. He's more of a linebacker-ish type of guy. Think of a Malcolm Kuntz, but I think maybe a little bit more with a little bit more edge to him, right? If we could pick up a guy like Nick Hampton in the 7th round on the edge, that's one of the things we needed, right? We needed more edge rushers, guys to develop on the edge. Years to come, you get cheaper, you get production out of these guys. You flip them in and out. Maybe you give them a handful, 5-10 snaps a game to get his feet wet, to get his beak wet a little bit. Maybe you get some production out of the kid. This is a sleeper pick right here. I love this kid, Nick Hampton out of Appalachian State. He's a little bit smaller, but he's violent, man. He's violent. He's quick. He's fast. He's got strong hands. Look at him. He's getting held right now. They're giving him the Max Crosby treatment right now. This is not no slapdick team. Okay, this is an SEC school right here, and it's Texas A&M, and he's making shit happen. Ty Davis, yeah, man. I watched a little bit of tape of his, and he just looks good, man. He looks good. William Merchant. This mock draft took too much offense, in my opinion. It's bad, in my opinion. I get you, man. Maybe we could have, instead of Saliveri, the last pick, maybe we could have gotten another defensive lineman. Maybe we could have waited on a tight end because he's going to be a backup. We could have maybe gotten a defensive lineman there. Like in the fifth round, maybe we could have gotten Yaya Darby from Louisville. I think he's a sleeper guy too as well. Maybe another guy in the secondary, like the kid out of Houston, like Javarius Owens, I think his name is. He's a nice long safety, kind of a combo type of guy, safety, slot corner kind of guy. So yeah, man, there's a lot of things we can do here and there. But again, we didn't know how the board fell. I see the logic behind these picks. I'm not hating on it that bad. My one questionable pick was the wide receiver in the fourth round. I'm not sure that was the way to go. Okay, let's see what you guys think. All right, guys. Witherspoon played more man than Gonzalez. He's also like a foot shorter than him. We're looking again, production and measurables. Now, is Witherspoon a baller? Witherspoon is a baller. He is a baller. But if you're going to want to take a guy, I don't have a problem with taking Gonzalez. I don't have a problem taking Witherspoon. I think they're both great. I think the measurables with Gonzalez are a little bit better. That's all I think. Hampton has a Max Crosby motor on him. Look, man, what did people say about Crosby when he got out? Well, he's only 270 pounds. He's got long arms, but he's not great competition in Eastern Michigan. He's a little slight. He's not a good against the run. And what has he done? He's packed on some weight, not a lot. He's still, he's still a little bit thinner, but he's a relentless pass rusher. Think about that mentality in a smaller but more compact body. And that's Nick Hampton from Appalachian State. All right, guys. That's it for me. That's my time. I wanted to hop on here and give you guys a little bit of something here, talking about someone else's mock draft. And again, be passionate, but put your logic hat on. You don't have to agree with the picks 100%. You don't have to agree with the player they picked. Just, okay, what's the logic behind this pick? And one thing that we have to do is also, what is the theme here? The theme that I'm seeing here is production and athletic ability. Production and measurables. You have that, you can translate. Now, is it the production a lot higher and the measurables a lot better when you go into the earlier rounds? Yeah, I think so. I think maybe it's really hard and I'm not trying to talk shit or anything, but it's really hard for somebody who maybe didn't play the position, who doesn't appreciate offensive line as well, to kind of shit on the Avila pick. Avila's a baller, bro. He can start right away. Okay. There's also some flyer picks you take late in rounds, like Andrew Voorhees out of SC. He freaking popped his ACL during the combine. I think he's a guy you stash for the following year. I think he would be a great get as well later in the draft. All right. William Merchant, he has Carter, then Gonzalez, then Witherspoon, or trade back. If all three of those guys are gone, I don't know that I would take anybody else in that spot. If all three of those guys are gone, that means like a Tyree Wilson is there, because there's probably going to be at least three quarterbacks taken before us. So if three quarterbacks are gone, at least 4 picks, right? So you got Tyree Wilson, you got Will Anderson, you got Carter, Gonzalez, Witherspoon. That's 6. That's 5 guys. So 5 and 3 is 8. We pick 7. So 2 of those guys are going to be available. And then you again, either Will Levis. I'm not a big fan of Will Levis, I think. Bro, Will Levis puts mayonnaise in his coffee. Okay? Come on. My biggest question mark with Will Levis isn't durability issues, right? Isn't his arm accuracy. It's his question. He has questionable decision making. Okay. You put mayonnaise in your coffee, that's questionable decision making. Okay. All right, guys. I appreciate you, man. Make sure everyone here knows how much I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I couldn't do this without you. I do this just for you guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your haters, tell your mamas, tell your haters' mamas, tell your mamas' haters. Tell everybody about the Autumn Windbags. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that little notification button to make sure that you know when I go live or drop a new video. I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.